afternoon, and thank you. I guess I just wanted to take this chance because when you were describing those who have kind of done the I am practice, all the time, and I reach the state of presence, and it's always here, like you said, just that sensation of being with, no need to even call it I, just amness for me, almost. And then noticing also that I'm also observing this, amness. And everything drops away, and like you said, there's bliss, there's whatever is obviously what I've been searching for in all things and in everything that I've done, basically. And then I get jealous as shit with my girlfriend.
You what? Get jealous?
I just get, I'll come, these points come every day.
Yeah.
And then I'll fall into such petty,
Right.
conflict.
All of a sudden you're jealous, right?
Yeah.
Right. All of a sudden.
That's just an example where it grinds so deeply, and I can even see that I'm acting only out of conditioning.
Yeah.
And that it's just like some weird thought that I had that I was never really true, but yet it's, causing me and others pain.
Yes. So, first of all, let's go back to that, what you just said. Even when I see it's not really true, it still causes me and others pain. So, right there is the key moment, right? Because I'm not denying at all that part of you knows that it's not true. If the emotion is still there, it also means part of you doesn't know. And this is one of the challenge, especially when you have had some insight, because it does give you access to a part that's very real, that can see through these kind of conditioned reactions, right? But also, when the conditioned reaction is there, that's like a sign that says, okay, part of you knows, but also part of you doesn't. And so the key is accessing the part of you that doesn't know, that is really, really believing in it, that really feels that that's its reality. And what it takes is almost the conscious and willingness to willingly enter into your own ignorance. You know what I mean? And go, okay, the part of me that knows it's not true, it's fine. Great, I can let it be. Let me go into that space. Let me feel into the place where it sure feels real. You know what I mean? Because that's the place that that light of truth needs to get into that place. And when it does, then it gets uprooted. And so this is part of the thing of there's always a human aspect, right? And the human part of us, all of us, it's not a perfect being, right? Part of it is flawed. Right? And I don't say that with any judgment. That's why I laugh when I say it, because it's just so obviously the case. I don't know why people have such a hard time admitting this. You know what I mean? Admitting it without feeling terrible about it. It's like, oh, that's just part of the human experience, right? Oh, even when I see something deeper, then there's the human character, the human part. And while the depth of you can transition in an instant, the human aspect generally doesn't have to, but it generally takes more time. Because for that truth to get into the humanity, it's almost like its own endless journey. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So in Zen, we had this phrase that I used to not like, but I found out it was really true. Always being Buddha. Now that's the big awakening, right? Realizing that you, as you truly are, and everybody else for that matter, that's the Buddha, your true nature. It's already enlightened. It's the unconditioned ground of your being, right? So at the ground of being, there's unconditioned. So the saying was, always being, always becoming. It's like heads and tails on a coin. Always and already being, and more of the humanity part, always constantly becoming what I already and completely am. It sounds contradictory, but it's just the paradox of truth at that level.
Yeah.
Right? So you enter into that feeling of jealousy, and you once again get familiar with the old conditioned ideas that get evoked, and then the feelings that those ideas evoke, or the memories that get pulled up, because usually we're experiencing the present through the prism of the past.
Thank you.
Yeah. So just feel your way into it. I call it a willing, or a conscious entering into ignorance. Which, it's one thing when we're all lost in our minds and we're kind of in an innocent but more or less ignorant space. And there's another point when we've had some insight, so we know through experience that all that conditioned complex doesn't really define you. Then it is a kind of sacrifice. I'm going to let go of the knowing place to go into the confusion and go into it not just intellectually but also subjectively as a feeling too. The strange thing happens is when you do it knowingly and willingly, when you sacrifice your clarity to go into your confusion willingly, it has the effect of dragging the clarity into the confusion with you. You don't even try to drag it in with you because you've sacrificed the clarity. You've let it go for a moment. You've let go of the wise part so you can get to the ignorant part. But something about doing that consciously and willingly actually takes the light of truth into the confused parts of our experience. And that's a really useful thing to know, because otherwise our tendency, our instinct, especially when we've had any kind of moments of greater clarity, is, well, I'm in this place, you see, where I know it's not true. Why isn't it changing it? And so the tendency is to intuitively stay in the wisest place you know. It seems to make sense. For some parts of conditioning, that's enough. That works. For other parts of conditioning, it doesn't even touch it. It's almost you have to willingly, intuitively enter down into the muck, sort of, which is a kind of sacrifice, right? It's a kind of sacrifice. Yes.